have it. Well, let me see if I can drag this down. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess I can. All right, so here we go. Section 8.2, using the explicit formula of an arithmetic sequence. So yesterday we learned the arithmetic, the explicit formula for the arithmetic sequence. I'm going to give you an alternate form today that's a little easier. And then from there we're going to kind of utilize it, okay? So let me show you what we've done so far. So far, this is what we learned. So the explicit formula for an arithmetic or arithmetic sequence. And both of these can be used for today's homework, but I'm going to really recommend you use the alternate one, the one I'm going to show you next. Okay? But this was yesterday. We went through and I showed you this one. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay? So, a sub 1 is some number, right? The letter d is some number, right? So, they're just specific numbers, right? A sub 1 is the first term, d is the common difference, n is the term we want, etc. So, this is one of the formulas we can use, but we can rewrite this formula, okay? We can distribute and do all this stuff and change it, okay? Now, let me show you how we would rewrite it, and then from there, I'll show you the alternate form. Now, everything I'm about to do right now, you do not have to do. If you want to just pay attention, go ahead. If you want to write it down, go ahead. But you're never going to have to do what I'm about to do right now, okay, ever. I'm just going to show you the breakdown. So, if I decide to distribute, okay, and try to rewrite this, this is what's going to happen. I get a sub 1 plus dn minus d, okay? Now, if I rewrite some of these things, kind of like switch them around, this is what it looks like. All right, I'm going to put the dn in the front, the a sub 1 towards the back. So a sub 1 minus d, I'm going to put a parenthesis around it. A sub 1 minus d, that's just a number because d is just a number, like a plus 2 or a minus 5. A sub 1 is just a number. It's the first number, right? Like a 10, a negative 3. So if I add a sub 1 and I do minus d, so a number minus a number, is it my answer just a number? Some constant, right? It's a value like 5 minus 3, that's 2, right? Or negative 12 plus 6, that's negative 6, right? So a sub 1 minus d is just a number. So in math, we call that a constant. This right there, what I just wrote, is called the alternate form of the arithmetic sequence. So let me show this to you right here. Let me write this out. The alternate form of the arithmetic sequence. Again, you guys can hear me saying arithmetic, right? It doesn't matter which one you want to say. Sometimes it just flows a little easier saying arithmetic over arithmetic in some situations. But this is the one that I want you guys to write down. A sub n is equal to dn plus c. Let me change that. Does that look familiar? A sub n is equal to dn plus c. Does that look kind of like another formula we've used in the past? The slope formula, right? Y equals mx plus b. That means that m would normally be right here. That means that d is my slope, my rate of change. Okay? And that's actually what d is. It tells you how much it changes from one to the next. Right? That's what slope is. It's the rate of change. When you graph something, it's the rate of change. D is also our rate of change. So this is basically the slope formula just with different letters. So that's y equals mx plus b. Okay? Where c is where it would cross if you're graphing it. That's where it would cross the y-axis and stuff like that. But we're not doing any graphing. We're doing sequences. Okay? Lists of numbers. But notice how even this formula kind of matches something we've done before. It looks a little different, but same idea. So we're using the alternate form today mostly, okay? So let me show you how that's going to work. Again, the stuff in green, you don't have to know how to do if you don't want to. All I basically showed you is how we got from the original formula to the alternate form. Okay, and again, that letter C just means a constant. So when you take your first term and your common difference and you add them or subtract them, you're going to get another number, right? So we're just going to call that C as a constant value. All right, in calculus, we do that a lot. C is just some number. We don't know what it is, but it's a number. So here we go. So here's the first example. So for this first example, let me see, given the explicit formula, of an arithmetic sequence, or arithmetic sequence, find the common difference and the term named. Find the common difference and the term named. Now you only have 2 of these to do on your homework, just 2 of them, okay? So I'm going to just make one up, and then we'll do that as an example, and then you guys should be able to do the rest, the other 2. So here we go. I wonder if I should give you, I'm going to give you 2 parts. So part A sub n is equal to -3 plus 10n. Now notice I did switch the order, but I did that on purpose so that you guys know that the dn plus c could also be rewritten as c plus dn. It doesn't matter, okay? Addition is commutative. You can move it back and forth, okay? So I'm doing that on purpose just to kind of mess with you, all right? So there's your explicit formula. They want me to find the common difference and the term named. So I'm going to put down here D equals, and then I want you to find A sub 10. And we'll do the work to the side. All right, so what is the value of D? It's supposed to be easy. 10, because it's dn, right? A formula says dn. I'll write it right here. Remember, a sub n is equal to dn plus c. That's the explicit formula. So d is whatever's right next to the n. Right next to the n is a 10. So 10. All right? And then they say find a sub 10. That means that the 10, the subscript, is the n value, right? That's what I'm going to plug into my n value. So a sub 10 is equal to -3 plus 10 times 10. That's -3 plus 100. So this is 97. And that's your answer. Again, calculators will be helpful if you don't want to do that. But this is what I meant about like having an explicit formula being helpful, because if I just gave you a sequence of numbers and then I said find the 10th term or the 30th term, you don't want to write 30 terms, right? So having a formula, all you got to do is just plug in the number 30 and then you figure out what the result is. Here we wanted the 10th term, so I just plugged in the number 10. It gave me 97, and there you go. And finding the d value, it's whatever is next to the n. Okay? So let me give you one more of these and then we'll move on to a different type of problem. So hopefully you don't see this as like being too difficult. So part B, let's do a sub n is equal to, I don't know, 12n. Same instructions. Okay, I'm giving you the explicit formula. All right, and I know it's missing the plus c. That just means that c is 0, right? There's no number towards the end. And I got to figure out what d is and what a sub, let me see. I don't know, let's do a sub 40. What's the 40th term? So either you're going to write 40 numbers, literally write 40 of them once you figure out the common difference, or you can use a formula to help you find it. Okay, that's what I would prefer. So, what is my d value here? The 12, right? Because that's right next to the n. And to find a sub 40, I just got to plug that into n. So a sub 40 is 12 times 40. Well, that's going to be a 0, and then 8 and a 4. So 480. And that's it. So the first two problems on your homework look like this. Okay, like I said, there's a lot of different ways they're going to make you do stuff. So the first two are similar to this. Okay, the next 4 problems are going to be the next set of instructions. So are we okay before I move on with example A and B? Hopefully not too bad, right? Just identify your d value, which is right next to the n. Okay, it's the one multiplying the n. And then plug in numbers to find the terms. All right. So, next example. Example number 2. I apologize that the instructions are long. It's just they always want to give you like, you're given this, you're given this, you're given this, right? So this one says, given the first term, and the common difference, of an arithmetic sequence, find the term named in the problem and the explicit formula. So let me put the explicit formula first. That's always more beneficial if you find that first. So find the explicit formula and the term named. So here's part A. I'm going to do one of these where I make it up, and the next one I'll take one from your homework because they're giving you 4 of these, so I'll do 1, you'll do 3. Okay? So let's say a sub 1 is -2, and we'll say that d is 4. So they're saying find the term that they're going to give you. So here it goes. They're going to say find a sub 22. So find the term named and the explicit formula. So I'm giving you the first term is -2, your d value, or you can call it your slope, right, is 4. Find the 22nd term. So let's find the formula first. Okay? Now I want to remind you guys, there's 2 formulas that we can use. Okay? So the first one, the shortcut. All right? So look at the shortcut formula. Is there a way that I can utilize what they gave me right now in this problem, okay, to write out a formula based on A1 and D? If you look at my shortcut, well, is there anywhere where I can plug a sub 1 into that shortcut one? No, right? There's an a sub n, but that's supposed to be like that. There's supposed to be an a sub 1 somewhere on the right side, and it's not there. So then let's think, okay, there was another formula. A sub n equals to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That one has a place to plug in an a sub 1 and a d value. So most likely I'm going to have to use that formula, the second one. Remember, we have 2 formulas. One is like a shortcut, The other one's the like longer version, but it has more stuff in it, so that means maybe it'll work that way. So I'm going to use the second formula for this. Okay, so I'm using this one. So here we go. Let me write it out. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. A sub n is equal to negative 2 plus n minus 1, and d is 4. Now, I want to make this formula look like the alternate form, so I'm going to distribute it. I'm going to work it out so I can make it look like y equals mx plus b, kind of, right? So let me distribute. So I get a sub n is equal to negative 2 plus 4n minus 4. Because I just distributed the 4 into that parentheses, right? 4 times n, 4 times negative 1. Let's keep cleaning this up. A sub n is equal to 4n. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. Now they said find the explicit formula. There you go. I just found it. It was actually, I found it before on the second step, but I wanted to clean it up. So here's my explicit formula. I have that. Okay, but then they said, all right, now find a sub 22. So using that formula right there, I'm going to find this 22nd term. So a sub 22 is 4 times 22 minus 6. Well, that's 88 minus 6. That's 82. So a sub 22 is 82. And there you go. There's that problem. Now this one is not from your homework. I will give you another one right now that is from your homework. By the way, I do apologize that this lesson goes kind of long. It's just a lot of different things. Okay, we're actually close to halfway through from the homework, but like I said, there's a lot of little pockets of different problems. Are we okay with this one? How to use the main equation to rewrite it into the short form, and then using the short form to find your term. Okay, so here's a homework problem for you guys. It's part B. Let's see, let's give you one that looks a little different. A sub 1 is 30, D is negative 100, and they want f of a sub 23. So find a sub 23. Remember, we're going to have to use a long form because this has a sub 1. Okay? So we're going to have to use that long form. So let's start off with the long form formula. I'm just going to write it out here. I know that a sub 1 is 30. I know that D is negative 100. I'm going to distribute negative 100 into n minus 1. So this comes out to a sub n is equal to 30 minus 100n plus 100. Because negative 1 times negative 100 is positive 100. Clean this up a bit. That becomes negative 100n plus 130. I'm a little worried at how big this number is going to be, but we'll see. Okay? So here is my explicit formula. Now, let's find the 23rd term. Okay? So a sub 23 will be negative 100 times 23 plus 130. Well, negative 100 times 23 is negative 2300 plus 130. Well, negative 2300 plus 130 will be negative 2170. So negative 2170. All right, cool. So that's a sub 23. So remember how I tell you guys subtraction is my nemesis, right? I had to ask myself, I need 300. I have 130. How much is missing? 170. So that's going to be 170. That's my result. My brain doesn't do subtraction like most people. It always wants to fill the gap, not just subtract. Are we okay with this right here? So these problems, guys, they're not meant to be like super difficult. All these that we're going to do right now, they're not meant to be super difficult, but they can be challenging because they're making you think about, okay, I got this formula, how can I utilize it? Based on what they gave me, what can I do with it? Okay? They're giving me one formula, how can I use it? If you guys ever take calculus, whether it be here or in college, you're going to see calculus AB, all we do is study two things all year: derivatives and antiderivatives. Okay? Derivatives have about 12 different meanings. So when I say derive, I could just be telling you to find the instantaneous rate of change. I could tell you to find the slope of a tangent line. It could be finding a maximum or a minimum. I could have you optimize. I can tell you where is something increasing, decreasing, concave up or concave down. All of that means take a derivative. And there's more. Rates of change, tons of different things. All that just means take a derivative. We spend a whole year talking about derivatives. Well, half a year. The other half a year we talk about the antiderivative, right? Finding areas and things like that. So in math, sometimes one simple idea can be used so many different ways, right? So that's kind of what's happening here. Like they're giving you different little setups, and they're like, look, we can do it here too, right? So yeah, when you see these problems, we're all using the same formulas. It's just going to look a little different every time. All right, next example. These are the next four problems. So these three examples are going to encapsulate your whole front page. Okay? So example number 3 says determine if the sequence is arithmetic. So that's not too hard. You guys did that yesterday. That was a yes or no answer. If it is, find the explicit formula and the term named. We'll do 2 of these from your homework, okay? Here's the first one. And I have no idea if these are or are not. So hopefully I choose both that are, and then maybe one of them will be not, and those will be easy. So they want you to do that, and then they say find a sub 35. Now, finding the term doesn't necessarily have to happen if it's not an arithmetic sequence. If it is, then yeah, you gotta find it. So what do you guys think for part A? Is this one arithmetic? Does it always change by the same amount? Yeah, it's plus 7, right? Negative 22 plus 7 is negative 15. Negative 15 plus 7 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. That plus 7, what is that called? What letter do we assign to the plus 7? D, right? That's my common difference. Okay? I also know a sub 1, right? What's a sub 1? Negative 22. They want me to write an explicit formula. I can do that. I literally just did that using the same information. First term, common difference, right? So I'm going to have to use the long form, but here we go. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. Now, they want me to write the explicit formula. Here we go. A sub n is equal to negative 22 plus n minus 1 times 7. Now, you could always just leave it like that, but like I said, it's more useful when you simplify it. So let's go ahead and simplify it. A sub n is negative 22 plus 7n minus 7 when I distribute. And let me combine my terms here. So a sub n is 7n. Negative 22 minus 7 is negative 29. So there's my explicit form. Now they want a sub 35. This is real scary, so we'll find out. let's see what happens. A sub 35 is 7 times 35 minus 29. Okay? So, let's see, 7 times 35, 7 times 5 is 35, so there's going to be a 5 there, 21, that's 245 minus 29, right? 245? Oh, the answer 216, thank you. So here's A sub 35. Again, not hard, just takes a little bit of time, right? They give you everything you need. You can figure out your D value and stuff. So I never answered the question, is this an arithmetic sequence? So since it has a D value, you would say yes, it is, right? If it doesn't have a D value, then no, it's not. It has to have a common difference. If it doesn't, not an arithmetic sequence. Okay? I'll ask you guys, do you want me to do another one of these? Or do you want me to move on? Because the other one's going to be basically the same idea. We'll move on, right? I was thinking like, we don't really have to do 2 of these. I think these are okay. So, backside, there's 2 types that they're going to make you do. And I'm actually not going to do the last 2, so we only have one more example to worry about. Because the last 2, you guys can see right here. See all the blanks? You guys did this yesterday. Beginning number, ending number, find the numbers that go in the blanks. You guys did that yesterday, so I don't need to do that. But the ones on top, I do have to do. So here's the last example. This will be example number 4. We're approaching 30-minute mark here. That's uncharted territory. Usually I don't like to do that. Do it on your phone if you want. And I want you to just leave your phone right there. Given a term in an arithmetic sequence, and a common difference, so given a term in an arithmetic sequence and a common difference, find the term named and the explicit formula. So I'm just going to write it backwards. Find the explicit formula and the term name. This is the last one. Let's try, we'll just do the one with the negatives here. So A sub 26 is negative 160, and D is negative 8, and they want to find A sub 29. I'm going to pause it real quick. All right, so these problems are going to be the toughest ones from the homework, okay? Now, there are some ways that you might say, that's not that tough. I'm at 26. You want me to go to 29? That's just 3 more, right? So, one way to do it is to do this. You're going to say 26, 27, 28, 29. I know that 26 is negative 160. And to go to 29, what do I have to do to negative 160? Minus 8. So this would be negative 168. Okay? And the next one will be negative 170. Oops. Sorry. Negative 174. And then the next one will be negative 180. Did I mess up? Oh, we're minusing 8. Sorry, I minus 6. I'm sorry, I minus 6. 176. Thank you for that. And then minus 8 would be, that would be a 4. So 184. There's your answer. We're done. But what if I would have said, what's A sub 57? Are you going to say, okay, I'll start at negative 160 and subtract 8 however many times? Right? I mean, you could. It's not wrong. So I'm going to put A sub 29 right here is negative 184. And we're done, but let me show you another way you can do it. How many steps does it take to get from negative 160 to negative 184? It takes 3 steps, right? So I'm going to change the color here. All right? So I'm going to put kind of like a little walkthrough. To get from a sub 26 to a sub 29, it takes, well, not like that, takes 3 steps. Okay, how would I know? Because 29 minus 26 equals 3. Okay, so I'm doing this to show you what to do if the numbers are extremely separated. Okay, what if I wanted a sub 50? I don't want to draw 27 lines or 23 lines. That's insane, right? So there's got to be a shortcut. So how do I find a shortcut if the numbers are too far apart? Well, first, figure out how far apart they are. Find their range, like we did yesterday. 3 steps. Then multiply 3 times d, which would be 3 times negative 8, which is negative 24. Okay? Add that number to your first number they gave you. Okay? They gave me, what was my first number? Negative 160? So add negative 160 plus negative 24, and that equals negative 184. Now, this might seem like, whoa, we just did a ton of work. We did. In this case, the green stuff is more work than is necessary, because to go from a sub 26 to a sub 29, that's not that much work. I can do that. 3 steps, right? But there's going to be a problem here. If you want, we'll do it real quick. A sub 24 and a sub 39. I'll do 2 of these for you. That way you guys can get 2 of them out of the way. But you can see why this is beneficial. A sub 24 is 125. D is 6. Find a sub 39. Now, you could, if you want to, start at a sub 24. How many blanks are you going to have to create to get to a sub 39? 15. You could do that. I'm not going to say you're wrong. You could do 125 plus 6 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 plus 6, and do that 5 more times if you want to. And that's fine. I'm not going to get mad at you. Okay? That is one way to do it. The better way is going to be find your range. Okay, figure out how many steps you are away. So we already said how many steps away are we from here? Number of steps. How much? 15, right? So 15 steps. Now multiply 15 times d. So 15 times d is 15 times 6. That's 80, right? Oh yeah, that's right, 90. Thank you. That's 90. We have to carry that over. So we got 90. Then add that answer. 125 plus 90. And that'll give you a sub 39. Okay, so what do we get for 125 plus 90? 215. Okay, so a sub 39 is 215. Okay, by the way, I'm going to tell you guys for the explicit formula, don't worry about it. We're not going to do it for this. We'll stop at that. Okay, so for the last 4 number, the other ones, we won't worry about writing the explicit. Are we okay with this one? The shortcut, kind of? These are the tough ones. There's only 4. We just did 2 of them. Okay, we just got 2 more to do. And then the ones with the filled up spaces, you guys already did those yesterday. So I'll stop right here and give you guys your homework. Again,